Welcome, everyone. Today, we're diving into the art and science of nailing both behavioral and technical interviews. Um, this guide really helps you transform what can feel like a high stakes performance into a meaningful conversation with your potential
Yeah,
future
absolutely.
employers.
Right. It's like interviews are not only you proving your fit, but also you figuring out if the company really vibes with you, yeah?
Exactly. Let's start by talking about behavioral interviews. They really focus on your past experiences and they do it with methods like the STAR method.
Mm,
It's pretty interesting how it breaks things down into situation, task, action, and result, right?
yes. And that structure just um, makes it so much easier to cover all your bases. I mean, it's like you have a roadmap through your own experience.
Right. And it's key to write down at least three-star stories before the interview. You want examples that highlight problem solving, teamwork, leadership, and adaptability.
Yeah, I agree. And if you think about it, knowing your resume like the back of your hand is just as important. You need to be prepared to discuss past roles and explain how you manage conflict or handle deadlines without sounding too rehearsed.
Exactly. And while we're on the topic, there's a classic real life example where someone led a team through a really challenging project. They navigated a tight deadline by reallocating resources, kind of like rearranging furniture in a room until it fits
Yeah, that's a
perfectly.
neat analogy. I get what you mean. Now, shifting gears, technical interviews require a whole different approach. How do you think the strategies for technical interviews differ?
Well, in technical interviews, the focus is a lot more on the problem solving process. It's important to review the fundamentals, like core concepts, data structures, algorithms, and system design
Mm-hmm,
if you're in
absolutely.
tech. It's like building a solid foundation before constructing a house.
Right, and one of the most crucial tips is to really understand the problem first. That means um, taking time to paraphrase the question, clarifying details, and then planning the approach. Would you say that's one of the best moves?
Definitely. It's like solving a puzzle. If you rush in without knowing the pieces, you'll make mistakes. And then the advice to think out loud. This is very powerful because letting the interviewer see your thought process can often be as important as the
Exactly,
final
yeah.
answer.
And to add to that, practicing on online coding platforms or with prep books really sharpens your skills. It's a practical way to get your brain in the groove of a live coding challenge.
True, and let's not forget that self reflection after every mock interview or practice session is key. Reflecting on what worked and what didn't really helps you improve for the next time.
Mm, that's spot on. Now, one thing that stood out in this guide was the mention of common pitfalls. Sometimes over preparation can make your answers sound too rehearsed.
Right, exactly.
What do you think about that?
Well, over preparation versus under preparation is a real balancing act. If you're too robotic, then you lose that genuine connection with the interviewer. You need that natural
Yeah, definitely.
confidence.
And another common pitfall is forgetting to ask thoughtful questions. It might seem minor, but not asking questions can leave the impression that you're not really interested in the role beyond the paycheck.
Yep, and the guide really emphasizes preparing 3 to 5 questions in advance. These can range from team dynamics to project methodologies or even growth opportunities within the company.
Very important. It's like you're not just a passive participant. You show them you're invested in a culture that will let you grow. Makes sense, right?
Absolutely. Now, let's dive into some real life success stories because those are always relatable. For instance, there's Sarah. She was a marketing professional who used the STAR method during her interview. By detailing how she led a project turnaround, she showcased not just her analytical skills, but also her leadership under
Yeah,
pressure.
that really highlights the power of storytelling. And then there's John, the software engineer, who methodically approached a challenging coding problem by clearly explaining his thought process. He didn't panic, but calmly broke down the problem, showing his problem solving abilities in real time.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the beauty of these strategies. They work across the board. Behavioral interviews let you show the narrative of your past, and technical interviews let you demonstrate your thinking and logic.
Very true. I think one of the best takeaways here is the importance of balance throughout the entire interview process. You want to show both your hard skills and your soft skills, right?
Absolutely. And that's why the call to action at the end of the guide is so compelling. It's really a two-way street. Not only do you need to prepare, but you also need to reflect and share your own
Yeah,
experiences.
that's a nice touch. Right. It's like an open invitation to the community to get involved. Do you think that kind of community engagement actually benefits candidates?
Without a doubt, engaging with others about what works can help create a sort of informal mentorship network. You learn from each other's successes and even the missteps.
Absolutely. Now, I have to say, while I really appreciate the guide's comprehensive nature, I do have a little critique. Sometimes it seems a bit idealistic, like not everyone will have the time or resources to practice to that extent.
Yeah, I can
How
see
do you
that.
think one might address that?
That's a fair point. It's true that finding time to prepare as thoroughly as the guide suggests can be challenging. A possible solution is to integrate these practices gradually. Start small, maybe one star story a week, or do one small technical problem daily on a coding platform. Incremental progress can lead to significant
Yeah,
improvement
that makes
over
a lot of
time.
sense. Incremental progress, exactly. And in the real world, even small steps accumulate into a huge advantage eventually.
Right. So, to wrap up, the key takeaways are really about deliberate, balanced preparation. Knowing your resume, mastering the STAR method, practicing technical fundamentals, and always being ready to ask the right questions.
Spot on. And as we head out, it's clear that both behavioral and technical interviews benefit from thoughtful practice and self reflection. It's a holistic approach to nailing that interview and showing off the best version of yourself.
Exactly. And if you're on this journey, remember that every interview is a chance to learn and grow. Keep practicing, stay genuine, and most importantly, be confident in your journey
Yeah, couldn't
forward.
agree more. Thanks for this engaging discussion. For anyone tuning in, what strategies or personal experiences have helped you excel in your interviews? I'd love to hear your thoughts.
And don't forget, share your insights, whether it's a challenging star moment or a technical problem you cracked open. It's all about helping each other climb that professional ladder.
Absolutely. All right. Until next time, keep preparing, keep engaging, and keep climbing towards that success.